This is the Roulette Master. I just received an extraordinary email from a guy named Julian. He says he has a new roulette system called the Genius Cash Roulette System, and he says it will not lose. He says he's tested thousands of spins per day for weeks now, and it will not lose. So this is super exciting, and I cannot wait to share this with you today. And today we're going to test this incredible new system against a 5 double street system with a little bit of a different recovery, and I think you're going to absolutely love it as well. Let's get started with that first, and let's see which one of these systems makes the most money in 15 minutes. I'm excited. Let's place the bets, and here we go. So we're going to start with 5 double streets, and here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 30 numbers covered, a $50 total bet, and we're off and running. Let's see what we get here on the first spin. That's a 31 black, and we lost the very first one, but that's okay. You'll get to see the recovery process right away, and we're going to go from 10 to 30 on all of these bets. And normally you get lots of wins with 30 numbers, but we started out with a loss, and that's okay. And this recovery process is more about getting back and starting to make money at base level. And after you win at $30, what you do is you reduce that from 30 to 20, and that's going to recover everything that you lost. And then we're going to go ahead and go back to base level and start making money at one spin at a time. So here we go. That's a 21 red. And we can get as many as 10 or 15 wins in a row with this one. We're up $10 now. Let's go back to 50 and spin. And now we're back at base level. Again, just making $10 per spin. And that's a 32 red. Okay, that's another loss. My goodness, but that's okay. You'll get to see more of this recovery. But normally you don't lose this much with 30 numbers. So we'll go ahead and go from 10 to 30 and spin. Then when we get the win, which we probably will, we'll go back to 20. And then as the bets go further along, I'll show you more of what you need to know. And we lost again. So that's pretty crazy. So now we're going to go to $90 each. And that's very rare to lose this many in a row with 30 numbers. But I think we're going to recover just fine. And let's go ahead and place those $90 bets. This is a $2,000 bankroll system. We should get some wins here and recover. That's a 29 black. And we got the win. So when you win with this system, what you do is you go back to what would have been a double from the last bet. So the last bet was at 30, and then we went to 90. So we're going to go back to 60, which would have been the double of where we were last. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember, we went from 30 to 90. So now we're going to 60. And let's go ahead and spin. You can see why we need to do that. We're at minus 100 after all those losses. So let's get a win right here, and let's get on a win streak. That's a 5 red, and that's a win. So we're at minus 20 now. So now we go back to where we were before this, which would be at 30. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go to 30, which would be the original increase in the bet that we did. And actually, let me go ahead and put those back out there. Okay, now I need to take these ones off, get us back to 30. And, okay, so now we're back at 30. Let's go ahead and spin. And if we win here, we'll go back to 20, which would have been a double from where we started at 10. So that's a nice win. Now we go back to 20. We're already up $10, even after all those losses. And let's go back to 10. I'm sorry, we were at 30. We go to 20 now. I'm sorry, we need to make sure we get that right. So let me put one of those back on there. These need to go from 30 to 20. Okay, now let me make sure that's right because that says 90. Okay, there we go. That's the problem. So now they're all at 20. And then if we win this, we'll go back to 10. That's a 12 red. Okay, there's the win we needed, and we're up 30. Now we go back to where we started at 10s. So basically what we're doing here is we're tripling the bet when we lose, and then we go back to a double of where we were before that. So again, if you were at 30, the double would be at 60. So if you were at 90, you'd go back to 60. And that's a win there. Let's see how many wins we can get in a row now. We're at at $40 profit right now. We've had almost as many losses as wins, but that's going to change, I guarantee it, because we have so many numbers covered. Normally with a system like this, you're going to get a lot of wins. Now we're up 50, and let's go ahead and spin, and let's see what we get here. I'm already getting excited too about this new system from Julian that he says will not lose, and that is exciting. We're up 60, so make sure you stick around for that. That's the Genius Cash Roulette system. And here we go. That's a 5 red. All right, that's another win. We're up 70, and we're going to get most of our profit at base level here. So we don't need to get a lot of money in the recovery. The recovery is about getting back on track and start making money at base level, and that's a 34 red. Okay, we lost again, so we're going to go from 10 to 30. Okay, so here we go. Okay, and then spin, and then if we win here, we go to 20. If we lose here, we go to 90, and then that's a 1 red there. Okay, but we got the win, so we go back to 20. So let's take 1 off of each. Here we go. Okay, we're at $100 total bet now instead of 50 where we started. So if we get a win here, we'll go back to where we started at 50, and that's a 28 black. That's a nice win. We're up $70, and we go back to where we started with $10 bets. All right, here we go. $50 total bet because there's 5 of them, and let's spin. That's a 35 black, so that should be a loss. So let's go from 10 to 30. You can see temporarily it dropped us back down again. But don't worry, by the end of this, we're going to have a lot of profit. And let's go ahead and spin. We're at $30 bets now. We tripled the bet when we lost. And then when we get a win, we go back to the double of the previous number. So that is a $20 bet coming up. Let's go ahead and remove those. Now we're going to 20 on each. And let's spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 21 red. Okay, $20 win. We're up $70 again. So we go back to base level at 50, which is 10 each. And you can play this without betting this large as well. You can even use dollar units if you want to. This is a $2,000 bankroll for $10 units, a $100 bankroll. I'm sorry, a $200 bankroll for dollar units. So we're up 80. And let's see how many wins we can get in a row now with this incredible roulette system. And here we go. That's an 11 black. That's another win. As long as it's not super high or a 0, we're going to win. We're up 90. Let's rebet and spin. So we want to stay away from the real high numbers and the zeros. And there we go. Just anytime you talk about something like that, it's going to come. So let's go ahead and go from 10 to 30. But I'm glad you're getting to see so many losses and recoveries. That's what it's really all about, is how you recover. And let's go ahead and spin now at 150 total bet. And here we go. That's a 20 black, and that's a win. So we go back to the double of the previous bet, which would be 20. So let's reduce from 30 back to 20. All right, and then we'll go ahead and spin. Now we're at $100 total bet. And then we'll get back to base level and start making some consistent wins again. That's a 31 black. Oh my goodness, we lost again. So we're gonna triple that bet. So we were at we were at 20 there. Yep. So 20, we triple the bet to 60. Okay, here we go. Anytime you lose, you triple, and then you go back to the double of the previous number. Now we're at a $300 total bet, but really good chance of winning here. Let's see what we get. That's a 26 black. That should be good. And it is. So remember, we went from 20 and we tripled. So now we go to 20 doubled. So that would be $40. All right, here we go. Okay, now we're at a $200 total bet. And let's spin. Okay, that's a 10 black. That's a win. So we're up $70. And now we'll go to the bet that happened before that, which would be 30. Then we'll go to 20 and 10. Okay, let's go ahead and spin at 150 total bet. Okay, that's a 32 red. And we lost again. So we triple this bet. And we've had so many losses. This is crazy. But it's okay. We're going to recover. And we're going to go from 30 to 90. That's why we have the $2,000 bankroll. And remember, you don't have to play with that much. You can do a $200 bankroll in dollar units. Or if you use $5 units, you could use a $1,000 bankroll. Let's go ahead and spin, and let's get a win here at $90 on each. And that's a 4 black. That's a win. So we go back to the double of that one. So remember, to get to 90, then we went from 30. So now we double 30 to 60. So that means we need to reduce these from 90 to 60. Here we go. I'll have to add one more back in there. I took one too many off. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now we're at a $300 total bet. 60 on each of 5 bets, and let's spin. That's a good win there. 20 black. $60 win there. So you can see these are at 60. So before we went to 60, we were at 30. So that's where we go. Okay, now we're at 150 total bet. If we win this, we'll go back to 20. That's a 6 black. That's a nice win. So we're up $100 now. So now we'll go back to 20. Okay, just like that, and spin. We're at $100 total bet still. Or I guess now we are. We weren't before. That's a 21 red. Okay, that's a $20 win. We're up 120. So now we go back to base level because we were at 20 and we go back to 10. That's where we started. So let's go ahead and put those bets out and spin again and see what we get here. Okay, that's a 0, and we definitely lost that. And way more losses than normal. So make sure you understand that this is not normal to have this many losses. But the cool thing is we're recovering. So, and making profit at the same time. So let's do that, 10 to 30. And that dropped us back to $70 profit temporarily. But we'll get right back up there again. And that's a 4 black. That is a win there. Fantastic. So we'll go from 30 back to 20. Here we go. This is a fantastic way to play roulette. I hope you really test this one out and try it for yourself. It does incredible. That's a 7 red. That's a $20 win. We're up 120. And see how we recovered there? So now we go back to base level. I'll just take those out and put them back in. And really, you can bet on any of the 5 that you want. So that doesn't really matter. What matters is the progression. And that's a 3 red, and that's a win. So we really haven't had a lot of wins in a row, and we're up $130. I bet we get a bunch of wins right here. Let's find out. That's a 16. That's a win. All right, we're up 140. Let's rebet and spin. And we should get lots and lots of wins with 30 numbers. That's a 13 black, and this might be our hot streak that's starting right now. We're up 150, and you know, after a hot streak, that's when you want to cash out. We have a couple minutes left with this one. Let's close hard and make some money here right at the finish, but that is a loss. So we'll do the recovery process again, and we'll go from 10 to 30. Okay, and then let's go ahead and spin at 150 total bet. That's a 15 black. Okay, that's a $30 win. Let's go from 30 back to 20. Okay, now we're at a $100 total bet, and let's spin. That's a 25 red. That's $20 win. We're up 150, and let's reduce it back to base level, because once you go from 20, you just go back to 10. And we're up $150 now, even after all those losses. And let's close and make some more money here. That's a 25 red. All right, now we're getting some wins. We're up 160. Let's keep it up. Here we go. And again, if you haven't tried playing this way, definitely give it a shot. You'll get more wins than we have so far today. And we're up 170. Let's rebet and spin, but it's very important to have the correct bankroll. So remember, you can use dollar units with the $200 bankroll. You can use a $1,000 bankroll with $5 units, or you can use this one with a $2,000 bankroll. We're up 180. Let's rebet and spin here, and let's see if we can get some more profit. That's a 5 red. Okay, and we have time for one more spin here before we get to that new system of the day. We're up 190. Let's get to $200 profit here, and let's see what we get. But we lost this one, so let's do one more recovery here, and just so you can see it one more time, and we're going to go from 10 to 30. So let's go ahead and do that, and spin, and let's see what we get here. All right, that's a good win, 5 red, so we go back to 20. So we'll go back to 20, which is a $100 total bet, and spin, and then this will get us back to base level, and we'll close out this session. All right, we got the win, 7 red. So we only went 10 seconds over 15 minutes, so that was right on target, and we ended up $190 in profit after 15 minutes with this new recovery system for 30 numbers, 5 double streets. So now it is time for the new roulette system of the day that I know you've all been waiting for. I'm excited. Let's get started. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the Genius Cash Roulette System by Julian. He developed this from Aaron B's milestone method, but he said this is so much better. He says that this is much, much safer, and you can play it all day long and consistently win money. And instead of 6 numbers, we're going to bet on all but 4 numbers with this one, and the bets are going to be a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and look at those last 4 numbers, and we'll mark them here. Let's go ahead and mark them with $5 chips. We have the 7, the 5, the 35, and the 5. I'm sorry, there's actually, let's go one more because there's 2 5s, so we'll have the 9. Okay, so then we're going to put $10 bets on the rest of them. And you might say, well, that seems kind of high. Well, here's why. We're not going to be doubling the bets when we lose, but I will share with you when we increase the bet, and it's very, very smart way to play. Let's go ahead and do this. And we're not going to go as far down as we do with the milestone method. This is going to be much safer in that aspect as well. So we're going to take those last 4 numbers off, just like that, and then spin at 340 total bet. But again, we're not. The reason we can start the bet this high is because we're not going to be increasing it when we lose right away. That's a 4 black, and we won. That's a $20 win. So let's go ahead now. And we're going to remove the 4. Okay? And then let's go ahead and spin again. And we're only going to go down to 26 numbers with this. We're not going to go lower than that. So 26 numbers is where we stop. And that's another win. That's a $30 win. So we're up $50 already, and we're going to remove the 24. Okay, and then we're just going to spin again at 320 total bet. And again, when we lose, we're not going to increase the bet. That's why we can start higher like this. And that's a $40 win. We're up 90. So let's go ahead now and remove the 32. And spin. Here we go. And again, we're not going lower than 26 numbers. This is going to be much safer than going lower than that. That is a $50 win. And we're up $140 already. And let's remove the 1. Okay, so here we go. And you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are uncovered right now. Let's go ahead and spin here and see what we get on this one. That's a 17 black. Okay, that's a $60 win. We're up $200 already. Let's remove the 17. But again, we're going to stop when we get to 26 numbers. So let's go ahead and spin again at 290 total bet. And let's see what we get here. That's an 18 red. Fantastic. That's a $70 win. We're up $270. Since we started with 4 off of there, and we only go down to 26 numbers out of 38, there's going to be 12 left when you restart. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're still going. We're at 290 total bet. And here we go. That's a 22 black. And that's a nice win. We're already up $340. And let's remove the 22. Okay, so let's spin here at 280 total bet. And that's a 1 red. And that is the first time we've lost. And we do not increase the bet. So we leave it the same. Okay, we're only going to be increasing the bet when we lose a second time. And it's not going to be doubling. So let's go ahead and just spin again. And here we go. Okay, that's a 15 black. Okay, that's a nice $80 win. We're up 140 currently, even after that loss. And let's remove that one. And then go ahead and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 4 black. And we lost. That was our second time that we lost, so we increased by 1 unit. So all these 10s are going to go to 20. Okay, now we're at 540 total bet, and let's spin. All right, here we go. That's an 18 red. That's a nice $180 win. We're back up 50. Let's go ahead and remove the 18, and then we'll need to count these. And remember, once there's 12 uncovered, we restart. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're still going. Let's get another win right here. That's a 6 black. Fantastic. That's a $200 win. Now we're back up $250. And now we're at 26 numbers, so we restart. So let's mark the last 4 numbers again. 6, 18, 4, and 15. And again, we're not doubling. We're going up a unit, but only after 2 losses. So much, much safer. That's how we're able to start with the higher bet sizes. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I need to fix that. Let me get that right. So we're covering everything except for the last 4 numbers. In the milestone method, it's the last 6. And then milestone method, you double the bet after each loss. This one, you only go up 1 unit when you lose twice. So let's go ahead and get those bets out there. And then we're going to remove those last 4 that we marked. Just like that. And go ahead and get started here at 340 total bet. All right, I'm excited about this. This is a 10 black. And that's a $20 win. So we're back up to 70. Let's remove the 10. So let's go ahead and do that. And then spin again. And here we go. So not only are we not doubling, we're only going up a unit, but only after 2 losses, not 1. That's a $30 win. We're up 300. Let's go ahead and remove the 1. And then go ahead and spin right here. All right. That is a 25 red. All right, a $40 win. We're up 340. Let's go ahead and remove the 25. And then spin again at 310 total bet. And the cool thing about this is we can use a $2,000 bankroll with an over $300 starting bet. That's what's cool. And that's because we're not doubling the bet and we're not increasing on the first loss. And we're up 390. Let's go ahead and remove the 17. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's an 8 black. Fantastic. $60 win. We're at 450. And that's how we can afford to have losses without increasing the bet, is because you can see how high the profits are getting already. And here we go. That's a 22 black. Okay, that's a $70 win. We're up 520. Let's go ahead and remove the 22. All right, let's do that and then spin. And then remember, we don't go below 26 numbers with this one. That's a 00. And this is a really cool aspect of this. A lot of times you win on the zeros unless they're in the last 4 spins. We're up $600. And let's remove the 00. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that and spin at 270 total bet. And that's a 35 black. Okay, that's a win. Let's count them here. And first we need to remove that 35. So remember, when there's 12 spots open, that's when you stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we go, oh wait, actually let me count that again. There's a 00. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we have one more. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. And that's a 1 red. Okay, and we lost that one. So it would have been nice if we had reset there, but remember, we don't increase the bet. We do not increase the bet when we lose the first time. And that's a 14 red. And that's a win. So now we're up $530, and let's remove the 14, and I think that gets us to our 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's correct. And let's go ahead and start over. So we're up $530 even after that big loss. And we're going to mark those last 4 numbers. So let's mark those, the 1, the 14, the 35, and the 00. Okay, and we fix that one. And then we'll place our $10 bets. And again, it's nice that we can start with such high bets because we're not doubling. And not only are we not doubling, we're not even increasing by a unit on every loss. We're only doing it on every 2 losses. So that is really, really important. And that's why we can, again, start with those high bets without losing. And now we need to take those marker bets off. So let's do that. And remember, we're only going to go down to 26 numbers. So let's go ahead and spin at $340 total bet. And I can't wait to see how much money we make with this over the whole 15 minutes. And that's a 7 red. It's a $20 win. And we're up $550. So let's remove the 7. And the reason a lot of people probably haven't thought of this, and we're going to spin again, is because with high coverage, you don't think about the possibility of not increasing the bet after a loss. Because with high coverage, you're always thinking to yourself, man, I have to really increase the bet if I lose because I bet on a lot of numbers. But it's not the case, and he explains the reason why is because of the way that you work your way down and win more with each spin. So let's go ahead and spin again here and see how much we get up before we do have our first loss. Because remember, that first loss, we do not double up. We just leave it alone. And that's a $40 win. We're up $620. Let's remove the 29. So let's go ahead and do that and spin at $310 total bet. And here we go. That is a 19 red. Okay, that's a $50 win. We're up $670. And let's go ahead and remove that 19. So let's do that and then go ahead and spin at $300 total bet. And here we go. That's a 5 red. Nice $60 win. We're up $730. And let's go ahead and remove the 5. Now we're at $290 total bet. And here we go. All right, that's a nice win there. $70 win. We're up $800. Let's remove the 11, and then we'll go ahead and count these. So let's go ahead and remove the 11, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we still have a little ways to go. Let's go ahead and spin again at $280 total bet. Remember, we're only going down to 26 numbers. So here we go, and that's a 9 red. Okay, that's an $80 win. So let's go ahead and remove the 9. And here we go. And then let's spin at $270 total bet. All right, that's a 33 black. How about that? That's a $90 win. Now we're up $970. Wow. Let's remove the 33. Okay, and then spin again at 260 here. And let's see what we get. That's a 6 black. How about that? That's a $100 win. And now I think we're at $1,070 profit, and we should be, after we remove that 6, we should be down to 12 open spots. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, let me make sure this is right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, yes. So if you, when you get down to where it's 250, that would mean that you would have to reset. So let's go ahead and do that. And remember, we're going to mark our last 4 first. So we have 6, 33, 9, and 11. So let's place a $10 bet on the rest of them. And this is incredible how we can play with a $2,000 bankroll and start with such a high bet because we're not increasing it when we lose. Very, very cool. And this is definitely something I'm going to want to try in the casino tonight. I can't wait to tell you how I do after this, and I hope you guys test this out as well, because it sure is making a lot of money very quickly with a similar bankroll that makes a lot to a lot of systems that make a lot less. So let's see. Let's make sure we need to take one more off here. Let's take this one off. Okay, now we're ready to go. We have our last four uncovered. Let's go ahead and spin, and we'll see if we can go through this one more time. And that's a 7 red. Okay, we won that one. That's a $20 win. We're up $1,090. How about that? Let's remove the 7. And then we'll spin again at 330 total bet. Here we go. That is a 10 black. Okay, that's a $30 win. Let's remove that one and take that 10 out. Okay, now we're at 320 total bet. And this was from one of my subscribers, Julian, who sent me a wonderful email. And that is a $40 win. And he is just can't believe how much money he's making. We're up $1,160. Let's remove the 3. And again, a lot of us never really thought about doing this without increasing the bet when you lose a lot, because you're thinking about high coverage. Usually it takes a lot of wins to recover. But the way that this works in the sequence that it works, you can do this without having a lot of increases in the bets. And let's go ahead and spin again. This is called the Genius Cash Roulette System by Julian. That's a 16 red. That's another win. We're up $1,270 with a $2,000 bankroll. I mean, that's very rare to have a $2,000 bankroll and be getting close to making in profit what your bankroll is. That's a 32 red. Another $70 win. We're up $1,340 with the $2,000 bankroll. That is just unbelievable. And let's go ahead and remove that one and spin again. Remember, what you need to know about this is your first loss, you do not increase. You never double the bet. And if you lose twice, you go up 1 unit, just 1 unit. And we're up $1,420. Let's go ahead and remove the 27. And let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. I removed the wrong one there. Let me go ahead and we need to make sure I put that back out right. So yeah, I need to put a 10 back on that 25 and then remove the 27. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and spin. And actually, we're at 15 minutes. This is our last spin with the Genius Cash Roulette System by Julian. That is a 30 red. Okay, so we'll end up $1,510 in profit with a $2,000 bankroll. That is incredible. Thank you, Julian, so much for sharing this with us. And I can't wait to use it at the casino tonight. You guys let me know when you test this out as usual, what happens, and I'm just really excited about this one. So I really appreciate everyone sending all these wonderful systems in. Remember, you send those to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. We do this every single day in the search for the best roulette system possible. And if you're enjoying that with me, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.